What if I told you that the future of humanity depends on understanding one movie? Pause. In 2014, Christopher Nolan released Interstellar. A film so complex, so scientifically dense, that even after watching it multiple times, people are still confused. What's the deal with the Tesseract? How does time dilation actually work? And that ending? What does it all mean? Today, I'm going to explain everything. Every plot point. Every scientific concept. Every emotional beat. Every single detail that makes Interstellar not just a movie, but an experience. This is going to be the most comprehensive breakdown you've ever seen. So buckle up. Because we're about to travel through space, through time, and through one of the greatest science fiction films ever made. Part 1, The Dying Earth. Setting the stage. The year is 2067. Let that sink in. We're about 40 years into the future from now. And Earth? Earth is dying. But here's what makes Interstellar different from other apocalypse movies. It's not aliens. It's not nuclear war. It's not zombies. It's much more terrifying. It's dust. The Blight explained. There's something called the Blight. An agricultural plague that's systematically wiping out every crop on Earth. First, it took wheat. 7 years before the movie starts. Then, okra. Just this year. Now, there's only corn left. And the Blight? It's coming for that too. But it's not just about food. Here's the real problem. Every time a crop dies, it consumes oxygen from the atmosphere. And with billions of tons of biomass decomposing, oxygen levels are dropping. Professor Brand, played brilliantly by Michael Caine, puts it simply. We're not meant to save the world. We're meant to leave it. Humanity has, maybe, one generation left. The world in 2067. Let me paint you a picture of what life is like. Imagine this. Dust storms. Constant dust storms. So thick you need to wear masks. So pervasive that people seal their windows with tape. Dust gets into everything. Your food. Your water. Your lungs. The population. It's crashed. Billions have died from starvation. The resource wars of the 2030s and 40s. They wiped out entire nations fighting over farmland. Education collapsed. There are no more universities. No more advanced degrees. Schools now teach children that the Apollo moon landings were faked. Propaganda designed to bankrupt the Soviets. Can you imagine? The greatest achievement of human exploration. Rewritten as a lie. Because society has regressed so much that inspiring people to look up at the stars. That's considered dangerous. Everyone must be a farmer now. Everyone must grow food. That's it. This is the world where we meet Joseph Cooper. Meet Cooper. Cooper, played by Matthew McConaughey, is a former NASA pilot. One of the best pilots humanity ever produced. He flew missions in space. He tested experimental aircraft. He was living his dream. But NASA shut down decades ago. Now, he's a farmer. Growing corn in rural America with his father-in-law Donald, and raising his 2 kids. 15-year-old son Tom and 10-year-old daughter Murph. And Cooper. He's frustrated. We used to look up at the sky and wonder at our place in the stars, he says. Now we just look down and worry about our place in the dirt. That line. Everything. It captures the entire theme of the movie. But Cooper's daughter Murph. She's special. She's brilliant. She's curious. And she believes their house is haunted by a ghost. The ghost in Murph's room. Strange things keep happening in Murph's bedroom. Books fall off the shelf. By themselves. Dust settles in patterns on the floor. Specific patterns. Murph is convinced it's a ghost trying to communicate. Cooper. He's skeptical. Ghost shows more ingenuity than most of the people I know, he jokes. But one day, during a massive dust storm, something happens. The dust that settles on Murph's bedroom floor. It forms lines. Vertical and horizontal lines. Like coordinates. Cooper realizes something. These aren't random. This is binary code. He decodes it. And what does he find? Coordinates. Geographic coordinates. Leading to a location not far from their farm. What's there? Cooper doesn't know. But he's going to find out. Part 2, NASA's secret. The underground facility. Cooper and Murph drive to the coordinates. They find an underground facility. Hidden. Secret. Heavily secured. They're caught immediately. Taken inside. And Cooper comes face to face with his past. It's NASA. Or what's left of NASA. Running the facility. Professor Brand. Cooper's former teacher. And Brand has been expecting him. But how? The gravitational anomaly. Brand explains something mind-blowing. About 48 years ago, a gravitational anomaly appeared near Saturn. A wormhole. A tunnel through space-time connecting our solar system to another galaxy. Who put it there? Nobody knows. Brand calls them they. Some advanced intelligence. Some beings who want to help humanity survive. Through the wormhole. There's a galaxy with 12 potentially habitable planets orbiting a black hole called Gargantua. NASA sent 12 astronauts through the Lazarus missions. Each astronaut went to a different planet to assess if humans could live there. And here's the thing. 3 planets sent back promising data. 3 signals saying this planet might work. Those 3 planets, named after the astronauts who explored them. Miller's planet. Mann's planet. Edmund's planet. NASA is planning one final mission. Send a crew through the wormhole. Check those 3 planets. Find one that can sustain human life. And they want Cooper to pilot the mission. The 2 plans. But Brand reveals something else. Something darker. There are actually 2 plans to save humanity. Plan A, find a habitable planet. Solve the gravity equation that Professor Brand has been working on for decades. This equation would allow humanity to build massive space stations, launch the entire population off Earth, and transport everyone to the new world. Sounds perfect, right? But there's a problem. Brand hasn't solved the equation. He's been working on it for 40 years and he's stuck. He needs more data. Data that can only be collected from inside a black hole's event horizon. Which is impossible. So there's Plan B, a backup plan. The Endurance spacecraft. It's carrying 5,000 fertilized embryos. Frozen human eggs. If Plan A fails, the crew colonizes the new planet themselves and uses the embryos to restart humanity. But what about the people on Earth? They die. All of them. Cooper is horrified. You're asking me to leave my children to die. Brand is honest. We're asking you to save the human species. Cooper's decision. This is Cooper's dilemma. Stay on Earth. Watch his children slowly suffocate as the planet dies. Or leave. Risk never seeing them again. But give humanity, a chance. Cooper knows what he has to do. He goes home. He tells his family. Tom. Tom is angry but understands. Donald. Resigned. But Murph? Murph is devastated. You're just going to go. Leave us here to starve. Cooper tries to explain. Tries to tell her he's doing this for her. That he will come back. But Murph? She's too hurt. Too angry. My ghost? It told me not to let you go. It said stay. Cooper dismisses it. Just a coincidence. Just a scared little girl looking for meaning. He doesn't realize yet that Murph's ghost is him. Cooper leaves for the mission. Murph won't even say goodbye. And that moment, that heartbreak, it's going to echo through space-time itself. Part 3, the mission begins. The crew. Let me introduce you to the crew of the Endurance. Cooper, the pilot. Former NASA. The best of the best. Amelia Brand, scientist. Professor Brand's daughter. Brilliant. Driven. And secretly, emotionally compromised. Romilly, physicist. The science guy. The one who explains all the complicated stuff. Doyle, another scientist. Geographer. The practical one. And then there are the robots. Tars and Case. These aren't like the robots you're used to. They're rectangular. They move in weird, almost alien ways. And they have humor settings. Yes. Humor settings. Tars is set to 75% honesty and 75% humor. Why not 100% honesty? Cooper explains. Absolute honesty isn't always the most diplomatic. And diplomacy saves lives. That line becomes important later. The journey to Saturn. The Endurance launches. Cooper leaves Earth. Leaves his children. Everything he's ever known. The journey to Saturn takes 2 years. The crew sleeps in suspended animation to conserve resources. They wake up as they approach Saturn. And there it is. The wormhole. What is a wormhole? Let me explain this simply. Imagine space as a flat sheet of paper. Earth is on one end. The distant galaxy is on the other end. Normally, you'd have to travel across the entire sheet. Billions of light years. But a wormhole? It folds the paper. Brings the 2 points together. Creates a shortcut. Like a tunnel through a mountain instead of going over it. The wormhole near Saturn. It's a sphere. You can see through it to the other side. To a completely different part of the universe. And here's the crazy part. Romilly explains that wormholes can't occur naturally. Someone had to build it. Someone had to place it there. Who? They, Amelia says. Some advanced beings. 5-dimensional beings. Beings who experience time differently than we do. We'll come back to this. The Endurance enters the wormhole. And for a brief moment, Cooper makes contact with something. A hand. A presence. Reaching through dimensions. What was that? He doesn't know. Not yet. They pass through. And they're in a new galaxy. A galaxy dominated by a massive black hole. Gargantua. Part 4, Miller's Planet. The time dilation problem. The crew faces a decision. Which planet do they visit first? Miller's planet is closest. It's orbiting Gargantua. Still sending a signal. But there's a massive problem. Time dilation. Let me explain this concept because it's crucial. Einstein's theory of relativity tells us that time moves differently depending on gravity. The stronger the gravity, the slower time moves. Gargantua is a supermassive black hole. Its gravity is insane. And Miller's planet? It's orbiting so close to Gargantua that time there moves much slower than in normal space. How much slower? 1 hour on Miller's planet equals 7 years in normal space. Read that again. 1 hour equals 7 years. So if the crew lands on Miller's planet, And they spend just a few hours there. Decades will pass on the Endurance. Decades will pass back on Earth. Romilly warns against it. This is a bad idea. But Amelia argues that Miller's planet is sending good data. And they're running out of time. They vote. They decide to go. But someone needs to stay on the Endurance. Keep it running. Wait for them. Romilly volunteers. I'll wait. You go down. Check it out. Come back. Famous last words. Landing on Miller's planet. Cooper, Amelia, and Doyle take a lander down to Miller's planet. They land. And what they find is water. The entire planet is covered in shallow water. Maybe a foot deep. Stretching as far as they can see. But where's Miller? They find debris. Wreckage. And then they realize something horrifying. Miller's not sending a signal because she's alive and thriving. She just landed. Miller's been here for minutes. Maybe an hour. She probably just landed, sent the initial signal, and then, something happened. Because remember, time dilation. Miller landed 10 years ago from the Endurance's perspective. But for her, she just got here. And then Amelia sees something. On the horizon. Something massive. Something moving. At first, they think it's mountains. But mountains don't move. They're waves. Massive waves. Towering thousands of feet high. Caused by Gargantua's gravity pulling the ocean. And one is coming. Fast. Doyle shouts. Go. Go now. But there's a problem. The Ranger's engines. Flooded. They need time to drain. The wave gets closer. 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 They're not going to make it. Doyle gets out. Tries to manually help. But the wave is too fast. It hits. Doyle is gone. Swept away. Dead. Just like that. The Ranger tumbles. Water everywhere. But Cooper manages to regain control. Gets the engines working. They lift off just as another wave approaches. They barely escape. The cost of time. They return to the Endurance. And when they dock, Romilly is there. Waiting for them. But he looks older. Because remember, time dilation. The crew spent 3 hours on Miller's planet. For Romilly, 23 years have passed. 23 years. He spent over 2 decades. Alone. On a spacecraft. Waiting. Watching. Hoping they'd come back. Can you imagine? And the worst part? This means that on Earth, 23 years have also passed. Cooper left when Murph was 10 years old. She's now 33. He watches videos. Messages sent from Earth over the years. Tom's messages. He got married. Had a kid. Became a farmer just like his grandfather. But the messages stopped. Tom stopped sending them. Why? And Murph? The last message from her. She's the same age Cooper was when he left. She stares into the camera. And she says, "You said that when you came back, we'd be the same age. And you'd smile at me and say I told you so. But now I'm the age you were when you left. And I hate you for that." She's crying. Angry. Heartbroken. And you're going to miss my entire life. Because of this mission. So I recorded this on my birthday. The last time I'll ever send you a message. Because the next time I record, I'll be older than you. And that's wrong. That's not how it's supposed to be. She pauses. So you go do your job now. Save the world. But don't expect me to be here when you get back. Goodbye, Dad. Cooper breaks. Tears streaming down his face. He's missed his daughter's entire life. And he can never get it back. Time is the real villain in this movie. Part 5, Man's Planet. The impossible choice. The crew has a problem. They're running low on fuel. They can only visit one more planet before they have to decide their final destination. Man's planet or Edmund's planet? Man's planet is closer. Orbiting around Gargantua but far enough that time dilation is minimal. Dr. Man himself is sending a signal. He's alive. Edmund's planet is farther. Requires more fuel. And the signal stopped years ago. Meaning Edmunds is probably dead. The logical choice. Man's planet. But Amelia? She argues for Edmunds. Why? Because, and here's where it gets emotional, Amelia and Edmunds. They were in love. Before he left on the Lazarus mission. They were together. Amelia admits it. She wants to go to Edmund's planet. Not because the data is better. But because of love. Cooper shuts her down. Love isn't measurable. It's not science. We're going to Man's. But he's wrong. Love. Love is important. Love transcends dimensions. We'll see that later. They set course for Man's planet. Dr. Man awakens. They arrive. The planet is frozen. Ice everywhere. Mountains of ice. Clouds that look like frozen waves. And there's Dr. Man's settlement.